Welcome to mySci's Unit 4, Seeing, Hearing, Smelling, and Touching Like a Scientist. In these lesson summaries, we're going to go over the key concepts and the activities that you'll do with your students as you go through this unit. In Lesson 1, students will answer the question, what is a scientist? Students will learn how scientists do their jobs, and they're going to learn about the process that scientists use to discover new things. Throughout the unit, students will focus on the design challenge. How can we design an investigation about rocks? Start by framing the unit for the students. Introduce them to the design challenge, and then ask them questions to get them thinking about how they can achieve this design challenge. In the engage portion of this lesson, you're going to ask students what they think a scientist looks like. They're going to draw a picture of a scientist, and they're going to review this drawing throughout the unit to see if their opinion of what a scientist looks like changes. There's an opportunity for students to write about what their scientist is doing, but if a student's not ready to write, it's okay if they just draw their picture at this point. In the explore portion of this lesson, you'll have a discussion with students asking them, are you a scientist? Why or why not? And how do you know? There are no right or wrong answers right now. Take some time and jot this on chart paper if you have the chance. In the explain portion of this lesson, you will read, what is a scientist? You'll find a read aloud guide in the teacher pages for this book. This read aloud guide will help you start framing the conversations to review the questions you already asked students. What is a scientist and what do they do? As you're having this conversation with kids, challenge them to use evidence from the book to support their answer for the questions you posed. You will then show the video, Sid the Science Kid, the kids meet a scientist, and then have a conversation with students about the scientific process. You will find the scientific process poster in your teacher pages. Go through the different parts of this poster, explaining to students that this is how scientists solve questions that they're trying to answer. Depending on the question a scientist is trying to answer, they might complete these steps in a different order. So tell kids that they might go back and forth between two steps or jump around this wheel as they're trying to discover the answer to their question. After walking through the scientific process poster, show students the handout What Scientists Do. A larger version of this is located in the teacher pages. This handout shows science in action. You'll use those ideas you've found on the scientific poster, and you'll apply them to these images. Have a discussion with your students about how each of these images represent people being scientists. In the elaborate portion of this lesson, you'll focus on different science careers. PBS offers a variety of videos where Sid the scientist and his friends go and talk to different types of scientists. You can find the different types of science videos down here at the bottom of the page linked in the curriculum and the slides. You can find additional career connections in our Unit 4 Partner Resource document. Head to the Additional Teacher Resources section and you'll find the career connections towards the bottom of this section. These are external links that you can show your students about different careers scientists can have. In the Evaluate portion of this lesson, you'll have students discuss the idea about how they are like scientists. You'll then have them revisit their drawing of a scientist to see if they want to make any changes to their drawing. You can also find an adapted Paige Keeley probe in the slideshow. Show students this slide and read through the different ideas that these students on the slide have about what scientists do. Have a discussion with your students to see who they agree with most. By the end of this lesson, students will have described what scientists do, and they will also have an idea about the different options that scientists have when entering their career fields.